Alright everyone, picture this. You're a veteran, you've been going through the process, and you get this letter in the mail. It's from the VA, and in big, bold letters it says C&P exam missed. I know that feeling in your stomach, that's the feeling of, oh man, here we go again. But hey, before you start building a pillow fort of despair, just hear me out for a sec. I've been there and I'm here to tell you, it's not the end of the world. We all know life throws curveballs. Sometimes things happen that are totally out of our control. Maybe you got sick, your car broke down, or maybe you just had one of those days where you completely spaced it. Whatever the reason, missing your C&P exam is a bump in the road, but it doesn't have to derail your entire VA claim. That's why I'm here. In this video, we're going to break down exactly what a C&P exam is, why it's important, and most importantly, what to do if you miss yours. We'll cover how to reschedule, what to do if you miss it because of an emergency, and some pro tips to make sure you never miss another exam again. Think of this as your guide to navigating the C&P maze. So take a deep breath, grab a glass of water, and let's get you back on track. Okay, first things first, let's talk about why this C&P exam is such a big deal. You hear these acronyms thrown around and it can get confusing. Basically, the C&P exam, short for Compensation and Pension Exam, is like the key to unlocking your VA disability benefits. Think of it like this. It's the doctor's appointment that helps the VA understand how your service-connected conditions are affecting your life. During the exam, a VA healthcare provider will ask you questions about your medical history, your symptoms, and how your condition impacts your daily activities. They might ask you things like, how's your pain level? Or does this condition make it difficult to work or do everyday tasks? They want to see the whole picture, not just what's written in your medical records. Now here's why it's so important not to miss this exam. The results of your C&P exam are what the VA uses to determine your disability rating. That rating is a big deal. It's a percentage that reflects the severity of your condition, and that percentage directly impacts how much compensation you'll receive from the VA each month. So if you're thinking, can I just skip the exam and still get benefits? The answer, unfortunately, is probably not. The C&P exam is a critical part of the process because it gives the VA the evidence they need to make a decision on your claim. Without it, they're kind of flying blind, and that's not good for anyone. But hey, like I said before, we all make mistakes. Life happens, things come up, and sometimes, despite our best intentions, we miss appointments. The good news is, the VA understands that. They know things happen, and they're usually willing to work with you if you miss an exam. The key is to act quickly and communicate clearly. Don't just ignore the problem and hope it goes away. Instead, take a deep breath, and let's figure out the next steps together. Alright, so you've realized you missed your C&P exam. First things first, don't panic. Seriously, freaking out won't help anything. Instead, channel your inner action hero and get ready to take charge. Remember those old war movies where the hero stays calm under pressure? Yeah, that's you right now. Step 1. Contact the VA immediately, like right now. Drop what you're doing, grab your phone, and give them a call. You can reach out to the VA medical center where your exam was scheduled or the contractor that was handling it. You know, those folks like QTC, LHI, VES, they're the ones who often conduct these exams. When you call, be polite, explain the situation, and let them know you need to reschedule. You don't need to go into a whole sob story, just a simple, hey, something came up and I missed my appointment. Can I reschedule? They're used to this kind of thing, trust me. Now, while you're on the phone, have a pen and paper handy, write down the name of the person you spoke to, the date and time of your call, and any confirmation numbers or details they give you. This is super important. Documentation is your best friend in this situation. Think of it like this. If the VA comes back later and says, we don't have any record of you calling, you can whip out your trusty notes and say, oh really, I spoke to so-and-so on this date at this time. What's up with that, see? You're a record-keeping machine. The more documentation you have, the better. So, after your call, send a follow-up email summarizing the conversation. It's always good to have things in writing. Now, once you've contacted the VA and documented everything, take a deep breath. You've taken the first step, and that's huge. Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room. What happens if you don't reschedule your missed C&P exam? And I'm not talking about just forgetting to call. I'm talking about the stick my head in the sand and hope for the best approach. Spoiler alert, it's not going to end well. Look, I get it. Dealing with the VA can feel overwhelming and sometimes it's easier to just avoid it altogether. But trust me on this one, ignoring a missed C&P exam is the worst thing you can do. Remember how we talked about the C&P exam being like the key to your benefits? Well, if you don't show up with the key, the VA can't open the door. Here's what could happen. The most likely scenario is that the VA will deny your claim. And I don't mean deny in the sense that you can just reapply. I mean deny in the sense that you'll have to start the entire process over again from square one. All that paperwork, all those appointments, all that waiting, gone. Not exactly the happy ending we're going for, right? But wait, there's more. Even if your claim isn't outright denied, missing your C&P exam without rescheduling will definitely delay your benefits. The VA operates on its own timeline, and trust me, it's not a fast one. We're talking months, maybe even years, of waiting around for a decision. And during that time, you're not receiving the financial support you've earned and deserve. So, to sum it up, ignoring a missed C&P exam is like playing chicken with your benefits. You might think you're being tough, but in reality, you're just hurting yourself in the long run. The good news is, you're not stuck in this situation. You have the power to fix it. Okay, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Rescheduling your C&P exam is actually way easier than you might think. Seriously, it's not rocket science. Remember how we talked about contacting the VA immediately after missing your exam? Well, once you're on the phone with them, rescheduling is as simple as saying, "Hey, I need to reschedule my exam. What dates are available?" They'll check their schedule and give you some options. Now here's a pro tip. Be flexible. I know it's tempting to hold out for the perfect date and time, but the sooner you can reschedule, the better. The longer you wait, the more likely it is that your preferred time slot will get snatched up. Once you've agreed on a new date and time, make sure you get a confirmation. This is crucial. Don't hang up the phone until you have either a confirmation number or a confirmation email in your inbox. This confirmation is like your golden ticket to proving you rescheduled the appointment. And speaking of proof, remember how we talked about documentation being your best friend? Well, this is where it comes in handy again. Once you've rescheduled, send a quick email to the VA confirming the new appointment details. Think of it as sending a digital postcard that says, "Hey, just wanted to confirm I'm all set for my exam on date at time. Looking forward to it." This email creates a paper trail so there's no confusion later on. Now breathe a sigh of relief. You've successfully rescheduled your C&P exam. You're back on track, and the VA knows you're serious about your claim. See? I told you it was easier than you thought. Alright, let's be honest, nobody wants to go through the stress of missing a C&P exam and having to reschedule, so let's talk about how to avoid this whole situation altogether. Because, believe it or not, staying on top of your VA appointments is totally doable. It's all about having the right systems in place. Think of it like building a well-oiled machine, except instead of gears and sprockets, we're using calendars, reminders, and good old-fashioned communication. First things first, embrace the power of technology. Your phone is your friend, people. Put that calendar app to work and schedule your C&P exam like it's a meeting with the president. Set multiple reminders too. I'm talking a week before, a few days before, the day before, and even a few hours before. That way, even if you try to forget, your phone will be like, "Nope, not today. You've got an appointment." But hey, I get it. Sometimes even the loudest alarm can't compete with a good night's sleep. That's where good old-fashioned visual reminders come in. Write it down. Put a sticky note on your bathroom mirror, slap a reminder on the fridge, or even write it on your hand if you have to. The key is to make it impossible to forget. And here's a pro tip. A few days before your exam, call the VA to confirm your appointment. It only takes a minute, and it can save you a lot of hassle. Plus, it's a chance to ask any last-minute questions you might have. Remember, preparation is key. By setting reminders, confirming your appointment, and staying organized, you're setting yourself up for success. You've got this. Okay, let's talk about those life happens moments. You know, the unexpected curveballs that throw a wrench in even the most organized plans. Because let's face it, sometimes missing a C&P exam isn't about forgetting or being disorganized. Sometimes it's about those unavoidable emergencies that force us to reprioritize. Imagine this. It's the day of your C&P exam. You're all prepped and ready to go, and bam, you get into a fender bender on the way there. Or maybe a family member gets sick and you need to rush to the hospital. These are the kinds of situations where missing an appointment is the least of your worries. But even in these emergency situations, it's crucial to let the VA know what's going on. Remember, communication is key. As soon as you're able, give them a call and explain the situation. They're human, they understand that emergencies happen. Now here's where documentation becomes your superpower. Whether it's a police report, a doctor's note, or even a picture of your dented bumper, gather any documentation that supports your reason for missing the exam. This documentation is like your evidence, proving that you're not just making excuses. Once you've gathered your documentation, send it to the VA along with a request to reschedule your exam. You can do this by mail, fax, or even through the VA's online portal, if you're feeling tech-savvy. The important thing is to get that documentation in their hands as soon as possible. Remember, the VA wants to help you, but they can only do that if they have all the information. So be proactive, communicate clearly, and provide documentation. You've got this. So there you have it. Missing your C&P exam can feel overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be a claim killer. Remember, the key is to act quickly, communicate clearly, and document everything. Think of it like this. You've faced bigger challenges than a missed appointment, right? You've served our country, you've overcome obstacles, and you've got this. Call the VA, reschedule that exam, and get ready to ace it. Your benefits are worth it. And hey, if you have any questions or need extra support, don't hesitate to reach out. Leave a comment below, send me a message, or connect with a veteran service organization. There are people out there who care and want to help you navigate this process. Now go out there and rock that C&P exam. You've got this.